Oh, yes, the Championship is back, and it's 3 games in 8 days for Preston. All three of them are winnable, and win them, and it's maybe off to the Premier League. They can go. How are you, Joey? Nervous? Excited?
Yeah, it's this time of season where we usually have those good run of fixtures and then we sort of bottle it. So I'm a bit nervous, but also excited because, like you say, the three winnable fixtures, win them, and I think we could be in the top six by the end of them, and then it's just us to hold on to it. Which that's the when it becomes a bit nervous again. So yeah, I think we just look forward to playing the games and hopefully winning them, especially the one coming up because that's a must win.
Okay, welcome back to the Preston View. We are obviously going to preview then the Rotherham game for Good Friday. We're also going to chat about the Plymouth game and quickly review that. And we're also going to talk about club versus country as well. So let's start with the Plymouth game. First of all, the Plymouth fans were very impressed with Preston and actually applauded your manager more than they did their own. What did you make of the game? Impressive?
It was a sort of standard game. I think I was probably disappointed in Plymouth, to be honest, more than anything, because I think I've really given them a lot of praise this season, particularly after they came to Deepdale and they really went at us. And it was a really exciting game, and it was completely chalk and cheese for them because they didn't have one shot on target all game. So it felt a bit like almost an exhibition game, especially when we took the lead. We probably, think about Liam Miller. He should have probably scored before he did because he missed an absolute sitter. And we had a few other chances. So it did seem quite routine. But, I think I was quite pleased and proud of A, we kept a clean sheet. And B, actually, we were up against it in terms of injuries because we had a few injuries before the game, a few illnesses to key players. And then within, I think it was 20 minutes, we had two substitutions because of injuries. So we were down to bare bones, and I was quite welcoming this international break because I was like, if we had another game straight after it, then I would have been quite worried. But it came at a good time.
Yeah. So Rotherham, Birmingham, Watford, and then even Huddersfield before you get to the Norwich game. So, we've talked about 3 games. There's potentially 4 there,
Yeah.
isn't there? You've got a nice. Oh, I shouldn't say the word use easy with Preston, should we? Because we've been here, we've been here before. But there is no way that Rotherham are going to rock up to Deepdale and get their first away win in over 14 months, is there?
If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be us. I mean, do you remember the season when they got the lowest ever points tally?
Yeah.
They only drew 2 away all season, didn't win one game. And of the 2 games they drew, obviously one was at Deepdale. So it does worry me, the fact they haven't actually won an away game all season. But that's a pessimistic me. I think really, if I've got any intentions of even being close to the players, even being in the hunt, we have to get all 3 points. And actually, not only get all 3 points, I think do something like Norwich did and win convincingly.
Yeah, you want that goal difference being sorted out as well, don't you? Yeah, because then other than the Norwich game, then you've got a nice, well, a straightforward run to the end of the season. But you seem to be playing all the teams that are fighting for something. You're playing a lot of the relegation teams, but of course Birmingham are going to fight. Huddersfield are going to fight. Maybe Watford, are on the beach a little bit. But do you prefer to have? Do you prefer to be playing those teams around you in the mid-table positions than those teams at the bottom?
Um, it's hard to say really because I think a few of our campaigns have usually ended at teams around us when we played them, like Derby a few seasons back. I think it was the other team. There was another team where we did it similar. So I think when you play them games, there are 6 pointers, and I think the pressure really does get to the players. But if you can't handle the pressure of them sort of games, then you're not going to handle the pressure of the playoffs either. So it might be a good challenge for us, good tester. I think the form we've been in, the system we're playing at the minute, and the players we've got. Hopefully, with a few players returning from injury like Brown and Whiteman, because if we don't have them back, then them sort of games will become a lot tougher. So yeah, at the moment, I think no game's going to be easy. I know it's cliche, but I think. To be honest with you, we tend to recently play better against the better teams just because of the way we're set up. We like to press high, and a lot of teams at the top like to play around the back. And as we seen with Stoke game, where they actually did the complete opposite and they were more direct, we sort of almost came against our nemesis, and we didn't really know how to manage him. So I'm hoping it's not like that against Rotherham, or that their keeper is on another. Because every time we play him, their keeper, I know he gets a lot of plaudits against every team, but particularly against us, he's a few times where he's got him a draw or nicked him a win. So I think that would be my only concern. I don't think Hugel's actually been playing for the last few months, because that would also, in the reverse fixture, he managed to get some goal out of absolutely nothing. So I don't want him to come home to come and haunt us again if he is somehow playing in the game. But he hasn't been playing for a few months, so hopefully that's put to rest.
Okay. I would just find is it nice though? Well, it must be nice. It's a stupid question for Preston to be involved in something, at the end of the season. Usually after the Easter break, we talk about Preston and playing for nothing really. The odd seasons you've been adding a couple more points to get out of the relegation trouble. But is it nice to be talking about you in that playoff mix-up for once?
Yeah, it's always nice, because you don't want to get to this period where you've got 6 or 7 games left and you're literally fighting for nothing, and these games just become a bit of a day out rather than an actual competitive game of football. So yeah, I mean, as long as we keep just at least battling and at least, staying within touch, then I'll be happy. I don't fully expect us to get to the playoffs, but you never know. If you put a good run together, especially like I said, the next 4 games all winnable, I think that'll take us like 68 points, which is not far from where you would expect the playoffs sort of barrier to be. So at that point, I think it could be us to lose. So that could be quite nice, to at least be in a few games, being around there and taking it to the last couple of games, or last game would be even better. And if we manage to sneak it, then all the better.
Okay. All right, let's get your predictions then for us. Preston against Rotherham. You've never gone for anything higher than a 2-0 win for Preston, so come on.
I was going to bring a 3-0 to this one, so I'm hoping that's the case. But as I say, if anyone's going to stop us, it's that keeper there, because he can normally save anything from what we bring at him. So we had about 1 million chances in the reverse fixture. It's finished 1-1. So I'm hoping this time we can just get the better of him. It's 3-0.
All right, nice one. Before I let you go, want to ask you about club versus country. The debate has obviously started up again this week because of England playing. Where do you stand on it as a Preston fan? Would you sooner see Preston promoted or England win the Euros?
That's a really tough question. Because Preston have never been in the Premier League, so I'll probably be different to your West Broms or your Norwiches who been there quite a lot. So I think I'd prefer to see Preston win the Premier League. Win the Premier League, go up to the Premier League. Yeah. Then England get the Euros. But having said that, I've got tickets to the Euros, so seeing England win the final in Berlin might actually edge as an experience. But I'm gonna be selfless and say back my team.
Right, nice one. All right, thank you very much for joining us again, Joey. And if you're a Preston fan and hasn't yet followed us, please like the video and click on the subscribe button. We are here for the next 6 games as we propel Preston to the Premier League together. Fingers crossed. Hey, Joey. All right, thank you very much. We'll see you next week to chat about the Watford result and the home win against Rotherham. It can't happen. It can't happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Cheers, Joey.
Cheers, mate.